Autistic, autistic, autistic. This comment reminded me of this meme. All jokes aside, statements like this are very harmful to the autism community. Not that this person cares, but I'm going to use this as an opportunity to actually explain the difference between burnout and autistic burnout. Why I would call myself autistic when I've been medically diagnosed, but then two, why I'm specifically using autistic burnout rather than just burnout. With regular burnout, it's mostly about your energy, so it can happen from feeling overworked, stressed, or just feeling emotionally drained. You can feel exhausted, unmotivated, and tired, but your abilities are still there, so it's kind of like, I can do it, but I don't have the energy. Autistic burnout isn't just about being tired, it's about your entire system feeling overloaded from masking, sensory input, and just having to process things at a higher level all of the time. So instead of just feeling drained, things actually start to be harder for you that were easy before. For example, with myself, a lot of the sensory input that I struggle with become even worse and more intense. So light is so much brighter, like I need darkness. Sounds are too loud. I have more food aversion than normal, so it's hard for me to eat anything because I'm very sensitive to textures. Talking to people becomes very difficult and overwhelming, and so it leads to more autistic meltdowns. And the way I describe autistic meltdowns compared to burnout is one is an implosion and the other is an explosion. So you're just feeling too much, but your body is reacting to it differently. And with autistic burnout and autistic meltdown, it's not that I don't want to do things. I can't access the same level of functioning within that time. And also stating functioning is not the same as saying high functioning, low functioning. It's functioning in general. Another difference between autistic burnout and regular burnout is not just how they present themselves, but also how you recover from them. With regular burnout, rest typically helps and then you can bounce back. With autistic burnout, rest can help, but it's not enough on its own. You actually need less masking, less demands, and more time for your system to regulate itself. We need to be able to focus on our special interests. So in my video, when I'm saying that I'm in autistic burnout and this is what I'm doing, art and doing things creative, it helps to regulate me. So being in regular burnout, making art can seem really difficult because you're drained and exhausted, but being in autistic burnout, I can do something like make a lot of art. I'm not masking, I'm not overwhelmed by social demands. It's consistent, it's predictable. My brain is kind of working in a regulated state rather than feeling overwhelmed. So I can focus on something for a very long time and I don't realize that I'm spending so much time on it, which can also be kind of harmful for me as well, and it's hard for me to change tasks. And like being in regular burnout, I can still talk to people. Like when you're autistic, you can have regular burnout and not autistic burnout, because if I was just in burnout, I would have said that. So for people that are actually interested in educating themselves on autism, that's a difference between regular burnout and autistic burnout. Additionally, I did receive another comment saying something like, how are you going to get out of mental illness? I'd like to make it clear, autism isn't a mental illness. It's a neurodevelopmental disorder, but you can be autistic and be mentally ill, and a lot of autistic people, especially high masking autistic people, deal with other mental illnesses. But I am autistic and mentally ill, so that is accurate. If I say I'm autistic, it's because I want other autistic people to see, hey, I'm creative. Being creative helps get me out of burnout. So maybe it can help somebody else autistic, or if you aren't autistic, you can learn about somebody else that's autistic because you don't have such a small limited view of people that you make statements like this.